everybody, and welcome back to the Replayer Podcast. My name is Pagan. I'm your host for this week, and joining me, as always, is my co-host Dan.
What's up, everybody? Wow, that was really high. I'm sorry.
The dogs heard you. Wow. And joining us today are our guests, Michelle and Jen. Hi.
Yay.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, welcome back, Jen.
Thank you.
And welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
so
podcast.
Excited.
Oh, we're excited to have you on. We're excited to have you both on. Jen, of course, you've been on before, way back when.
Way back.
But you were on 3 episodes too. So yeah, way back when we were much older, not much younger. We're much older now.
Wait.
All those
we've gone back in time.
We have. All right, so let's start the show. We usually kind of do the thing, Michelle, where we're going to get to know you a little bit more. And Jen, it's changed since you've been on, so we're going to ask you both some questions about just how you found the retro review community and who you are and a little bit about yourself. So I'm going to start the first question with, where are you from?
Which one of us are you asking?
Either. I'll ask you, Jen.
I always get Pagan crap for this. Like, you got to direct the question.
Sorry, Jen, where are you from?
Me, her, me. I am from the Seattle area. I just moved a little south of Seattle to a place called Auburn. It's a lot cheaper than Seattle.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's Washington State, correct?
That's Washington State.
That's where that little indie game took place, right?
That small little game. Not
Infamous,
right? That one. That was
Infamous.
that was one of them. Yeah. There was some other. I don't know what it.
Was there another one? I don't know. Anyways,
it seems kind of popular, but I grew up in Kirkland, Washington, which is the home of Costco. That's why Kirkland Signature is their brand. It's named after my hometown, which is weird to me to see it everywhere. So I'm just like, who knows where Kirkland is? Like, fucking nobody does. But
I mean, I think I've heard of Costco, but what?
Oh, Costco.
Costco is a member-based warehouse shopping place. So only members can shop there, but they have really good deals on everything.
This
so
sounds
totally worth
great.
It. It's totally worth it.
That's very
you can
American.
Get 48 rolls of toilet paper at once.
Yeah.
It's like bulk buying?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you have to
membership? You have to be a member to shop there, and it's I think it's like $55 American dollars a year. It's really not bad, but then you get access to their gas stations. You can use their travel on their website, which you can do payment plans on travel, which is super cool. It saves you a lot of money.
I didn't even know they had either of those.
Are we going to get a Costco sponsorship right now?
Oh my God, Costco sponsor us. I don't even know who you are, but
I got to re-up my membership too. I haven't used it in a while, so I just I don't really need it. It's fine, but
you can go to Costco.com and enter Replayer Podcast to get a 10%.
Yeah, right.
10% off.
Oh. Yeah, right. You get 0% off. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's a great deal.
You can walk into a Costco and say, "Hey, I know Jen,"
and they'll be like, "Who is that?"
Great.
Who?
No, they won't. What? They'll be like, "Oh, Jen.
Oh,
of course.
She's from Kirkland."
That Jen.
Yeah, that Jen.
Right.
Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know anything about that, so that's kind of interesting. I like that.
Now you know.
What about you, Michelle? Where are you from?
So I am originally from West Virginia. Every now and then, when I get excited, the accent will come out. If we're talking unique hometowns, a little bit. It's a type of country accent. I've lived in several different areas as in my adult life. I lived in South Florida for a while. Now I'm in Texas. If we're talking like unique hometowns, I grew up in a tiny town in West Virginia that currently you cannot have cell phone service or Wi-Fi in. There is a 13,000 square mile radius that is called the National Radio Quiet Zone that is federally mandated that you cannot have cell phone towers and radio towers in. Because
crazy.
Wait, what did you say? You said something like a nationally mandated quiet zone?
Federally mandated National Radio Quiet Zone. Because
Why?
There is an astronomy observatory there. And
that's such a cool answer. Okay.
That's a good reason.
So the reason that we moved there was because my dad actually helped build the largest fully steerable radio telescope on the planet.
That's amazing.
What?
So, have any of you seen Contact, the movie?
Yes.
With Jodie Foster?
Hold the
So,
phone.
you know Arecibo
Long
that
time
has
ago.
that giant telescope that's built into the ground in Arecibo, Brazil, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's
Don't
built
at me,
into the
bro.
ground. No, it's built into the ground so it can only see what the Earth is pointing it towards. So the purpose of this radio telescope is it moves this way and it moves this way and it's controlled.
I am furiously Googling.
Look
Pagan
up
Googles.
Furiously.
the Green Bank Observatory.
That is dope. Okay, well, that is a cool reason to have a quiet zone. I was just gonna be like, why? Is there some
Why would
sort
anyone
of
go
federal
there?
agency stuff going on over there, like a whole
Yes.
Area 51 kind of thing? Like, oh, what's going on over there? No,
Kind
it's
of.
an observatory, and it's dope.
Massive
Like,
amounts of science.
wow. Holy crap, that's so cool. I really like
Because
that.
science.
Yes.
That's a way better
Actually,
story
yes,
than mine.
because science.
Sorry,
Because
Jen.
science. It's
Costco
not
doesn't
at
hold up to
all a
that.
cooler story than you.
No, it's
You come
not.
from the
Costco
place
is
that
cool.
Costco comes from.
As I like
don't
to
even
say,
know what
fuck my
Costco is.
story.
I
Yeah,
know.
fuck my story. Your story's way better.
Jen's
Costco's
like,
not
all
that
right, it's
great.
been great. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
just gonna
done.
go.
Bye. No, I'm just kidding.
Take care.
No, it's
Now
just
the
a
Michelle
really,
Cool.
story.
it's a really
podcast.
unique hometown.
That's
And where are
dope.
you
That's so
now?
cool.
Now I'm in Dallas, Texas, which is
Ah,
giant.
not too far from me.
No,
Oh no,
I'm in
move
Houston.
quickly. Just kidding.
Houston. Like 3.5 hours.
3
and I'm
hours.
piecing out because I now know you're closer.
So now this is something I've learned since moving to Texas is it takes forever to get anywhere in Texas.
Yes.
But it's normal to people who live here. It's not normal to me. And it's something I've had to learn to live with since I've been here, where for me, if I wanted to like go to the store, pick something up, it's a 5-10 minute drive. Now it's more like half an hour to pop to the store. Or if we want to go visit
Really?
somebody, it's an hour. And I'm like, an hour? That is so long. And they're like, oh, it's only an hour. It's just an hour. And I'm like, that's a long time to be driving to go anywhere. Like
To
like
and from?
normal trips, like an hour there, hour back.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, so I actually
And that's
did,
in
since I-
Houston still.
yeah, since I grew up in such a small area, like my closest grocery store was about an hour and a half away. So I'm kind of used to that kind of thing. And I had to I grew up hunting because we had to fill our freezer, and like the closest movie theater was an hour and a half away, like completely
Pagan's
What?
eyes.
not civilization.
An hour and a half to your grocery store?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
How do you ever buy ice
Wow.
cream?
you don't. Actually, that's so funny you say that. My aunt and uncle came to visit us one time for my cousin's birthday. She was like turning 3 or something. And they're like, oh, we forgot ice cream. We should just go to the store and grab it. And we were like,
Doesn't work like that.
that's not going to be a thing.
You need an ice cream.
We should make
truck.
some ice cream, and that would be
That's a
faster.
good question though. How do you get ice cream? So wait, do you no, hold up. You're in a
Bring
new
the
place
cooler with
now.
you to the store.
So did you just never have
do.
ice cream?
We would take coolers to the store. Yeah. So, because we
Wow.
had to cross mountains to get there, we would take coolers with ice packs and fill we would go about once a month, fill everything, and
Road
then have the
trip.
coolers. Yep. And
To
so
the
it was
store.
it was the only time
Exactly.
we could have like fast food. So it was like a treat. Anytime we
Oh
went
my
to the
God.
movies, like movie theater, popcorn is like still my favorite thing because it was such a treat when we were little. So my
my
dad built
gosh.
like a really nice surround system in our living room. We grew up watching
Nice.
DVDs and like behind the scenes stuff and stuff like that. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, tiny town.
That's so cool. So did you say that you had you were taught how to hunt?
yeah, I don't now, but I still have, if I go home during Thanksgiving, then we'll hunt. I just did last year.
Because
Yeah.
are they still in this this commuter town where it's like an hour and a half away from the grocery store? Your parents still live there?
My dad does. Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So Thanksgiving is the time to go hunting to fill your freezer for the winter because
Okay.
sometimes you can't cross the mountain in the snow. It literally sounds like a book, I know.
It's in the mountains and
Book or
everything though. This is
movie
like
or
such
video
a
game.
this
They have
is
to go
a
ice road truckers
Yeah.
to get to the
movie.
store.
Like it's an American movie for me. Wow, that's
It
so
is,
cool.
Yeah. So we can hunt deer. There's a limit, obviously, and then
Okay.
farther than after Thanksgiving, there's the seasons change based on the weapon. I guess. So you start with like bow season.
Oh yeah, like bow season or rifle season. Like I'm used to that kind of thing. I've never hunted myself, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it starts with like bow season, and then you can go to rifle with turkey, and then you go to rifle with deer, and then you can go to like muzzleloader season if you want, and then you get to bear season, and then it's kind of done because you're past December.
Oh.
So you should be filled with your freezer.
Pagan wasn't happy about
then.
the bear.
Why?
Yeah. I've never actually shot a bear. I've shot deer, not bear. Yeah.
I'm going to look past it, Michelle, because hunting is a natural form of life, and you do you, but oh my goodness.
No, bear. So normally, like, bears will mess with our tree stands and get into our feeders and stuff, and my dad will just get pictures of them. We don't actually go bear hunting.
Sometimes it's more of like a population control kind of thing.
That's what deer hunting is, yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Yeah.
I'm super upset about
We need to
the bear,
give Pagan
though.
a minute before we move on now.
No,
it's like
we
watching
don't
Nolan
actually.
try to
God.
shoot things in games.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just kind of glaze past it all and think about the mountains and the snow and how
Them pretty mountains.
little country sticks the houses, because that's probably adorable and so cute. Moving on.
Now that I have depressed everybody.
Yeah. Well, so
down.
did you say that like in this town, like where you grew up and everything, did you have internet and like things like that growing up as well, or just nothing like that either?
No, we can't have Wi-Fi, but I had dial-up until I was like a junior in high school.
Okay.
And then we finally got DSL.
Oof.
Right.
To the future.
Yeah. But we don't have cell phone
DSL.
service. You can't do cell phones, and you can't do Wi-Fi, but you can have internet as long as it's laid into the ground. There is a proposal happening now that my dad's trying to get fiber throughout the county, but it has to be like buried, and it can't affect the telescopes and stuff.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So with then like, I'm just so fascinated with like television and stuff like that as well. Did you have any of that because of the radio signals and stuff? Is that still allowed?
There's a radius within, I think it's 10 miles within the site, but people kind of, bend the rules. And so within 3 miles of the site, people were able to get TVs and everything like that. We couldn't really have microwaves. There's one microwave on site, but it's built into a Faraday cage because, engineers and astronomers are geniuses. So they built a Faraday cage which blocks all radio signals, and if they wanted to microwave anything, they had to get into this cage and put it in the microwave and shut it and do all that.
This is fascinating.
So there's somebody who actually goes around that has like essentially, I hate how they call them, like the radio frequency police or something stupid, but he basically just drives around and sees
like monitors the sound,
monitors where the radio frequencies are coming from. So they built a Dollar General like within 8 miles of the site, and this is an example, and their automatic door opener was emitting radio frequencies. So my dad in the observatory like purchased a new one for them and said, you need to install this one instead because it won't emit the radio frequencies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
Your dad
cool.
seems to do quite a lot for the community.
He's a business manager for the site now. He started as an engineer, so now he's the business manager of the site, and so he kind of oversees a decent amount of it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and it's a tiny community, so it's kind of easy to do anything for.
That's awesome. Okay, so you guys have obviously both, like, you're both here because you're replayers and you're part of the retro replay community. So my next question would kind of be, how did you find the retro replay show and the channel itself? I presume when you got Wi-Fi or internet. And we'll actually start with you. How did you find the show, and do you know when or whenabouts you started watching or joined the channel?
I do. I know exactly. It was the second weekend in March of last year.
Oof.
Exactly.
Very specific.
Very good.
Because I went to Emerald City Comic Con and Nolan was a guest. And I waited in line to get pictures with him. And as I was waiting in line, somebody behind me was wearing a What Is Going Happen shirt and was talking about it. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I got up and I talked to Nolan and I got pictures and he was telling me all about it. And he was like, oh yeah, it's a show I do with Troy Baker. And I was like, wait, what? And literally the next day I started watching at the beginning with Spider-Man, and then I just binged everything. And then I didn't even find out until I think 7 months ago about like being a replayer and like putting money towards the community and like the community at all. And then I was like, oh shoot, I've been missing all this crap. Like I didn't even know. I'm so sad. So
missing all this crap.
I caught up as much as I could. I bought merch. I got a membership. I was like all in after that. So
heck yeah.
Here we are.
Nice.
Here we
That's
are.
nice. So good. Like it's been over a year.
Yeah, it's
Oh
been
my gosh.
and it's been great.
Good.
It's been really,
Is
really
there
great.
anything in particular that you like about the show, like specifically? Like what's like one of your favorite things either about the show or about?
It's hard to say just because, you know, the show has changed so much in the last few months. So it's just like
Sure.
It's not even anything like it was before. But I've actually been really enjoying like what's been going on lately. The show with Cooper has been so much fun. Like watching them interact with each other is just it's so great. Like
Oh, that's so cool.
They're basically the same person. So it's like really hilarious to like see Cooper give Nolan shit and then Nolan just being like, seriously? And he's like, yeah, you raised me like this. Like, what do you expect? Like,
I think it's also great to see those like the moments where Nolan is obviously being hilarious and it doesn't phase Cooper at all.
Yeah, because he's just like,
so
that's
like
just dad.
into it. Yeah.
Whatever. I'm like,
desensitized.
And then all of the Uncharted playthrough has just been so much fun. Like having Richard there every week has been super cool, obviously, besides this week. But having Amy there is always great. She's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always happy to see Amy on there.
All the praises.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Michelle, what about you? When did you find the Retro Replay community, or how did you find the show?
I found it from the very beginning.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was living with my sister in Orlando at the time. Yeah. No, I was living with my sister.
She wears like a Noli shirt that's like the OG Noli shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And her and I were, I think it was when they were starting to do little social media tidbits of like, I think this is something that's going to happen, or there was a rumor or something like that. And we were keeping each other updated because she's the reason I'm into Uncharted. And her and I were keeping each other updated, and then it started, and we just, for literally from the beginning. And then the day that the memberships became a thing, immediately became a member. And then when they started tiering them up, I immediately went into the tiers, and oh yeah, it's been a thing for a while.
Oh, nice.
It's a thing.
I just now found out, I'm kind of like you, Jen. I just now found out about like the Facebook groups just in the last few months. The podcast, actually, I was watching them for a while at the beginning, and then for some reason I thought they dropped off. And so I hadn't heard from like, I don't like any notifications about the podcast or the Facebook group, or I kind of dropped off the Discord a little bit just because it's so busy. But now I'm, back in it. That's why I'm excited to be here, is to just get right back into it.
Oh, well, it's really nice to see you there, and like it's nice to see you engaging on the Facebook and everything now. I think sometimes like you're I think it's something to do with notifications on like your phone and stuff like that. They'll try and push you other content that's popular at the time.
I think
and then you start, because I've done that too. Like I've followed a podcast for years, and then I started to like not get any notifications, but it's because I didn't listen to like the last 2 or 3 episodes. Right. And they just stopped like notifying me, and I was like, oh no, I'm still interested. I'm just lazy and I haven't gotten around to it.
Right.
Yeah. And what do you think was like one of your favorite things about Retro Replay in general, like the show or the community, or like Jen, how do you feel about the changes that Retro Replay have made?
Oh, I don't know if you want me to answer that, because I have a lot of unpopular opinions about that.
Listen, we're here for the unpopular opinions. This is the show to say it. Like 100%.
Okay,
there's no like bias here. Go ahead.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate.
No, go for it.
I love Retro Replay at the beginning. Obviously, well, I love the whole thing between Nolan and Troy and their relationship. And I actually didn't know much about Troy before Uncharted 4. I've followed Nolan North since Pretty Little Liars and the first Uncharted and stuff like that. So I was just pumped to see Nolan. Loved the relationship and the atmosphere that they brought onto screen for Retro Replay when it was both of them. I was not sad when Troy jumped off to do his own thing, because I want him to be happy. I want Nolan to be happy, but I don't vibe with Troy as much, and I absolutely adore Nolan. So I'm actually pumped about where it's going now. I loved it before because they were just hysterical off of each other. but I love it even more now because it's really what I'd like to see. I just want to see Nolan doing his thing, especially
I wouldn't say that's
playing
an unpopular
Uncharted.
opinion, honestly.
I was gonna say, I was like, I actually don't think that's a terrible. I thought you were gonna be like, I hate it. The show is terrible. Like that's where I thought
went
you were
to
going
hell after Troy left.
Yeah,
No, actually,
that's where I thought you were going. But no, it's not an unpopular opinion at all.
My unpopular opinion is really that I don't really like Troy that much. I like him, but I just don't vibe.
No, I get that though. I totally understand where you're coming from, Michelle, is like not vibing with Troy, and like you're not alone. You know, not everybody is eye to eye. Like I myself, like I gravitate to Nolan more than I do with Troy. Like I've been a fan of both their works for a long, long time, and I was super happy to start experiencing the show with the two of them together. And I mean, I'm not happy that Troy left, but I'm not sad about it either. You know, and, like I really love Nolan. Like I love Nolan, and again, same as you. Like it's nothing against Troy. I just same kind of thing. Like I don't vibe with him as much as Nolan.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like to see like, to see Nolan playing Uncharted is just like, oh my god, like the angels are like speaking for me. It's like, oh, that's all I want to see.
I honestly don't think like Dan said, that's not an unpopular opinion at all. We've had plenty of guests on the show that were and always will be bigger Nolan fans because they had even found the show through Nolan, and they were like, oh, who's Troy Baker? And then they would look it up.
And I think we used to talk about that more in the past when the two were on the show. We would usually have conversations like that with our guests about like, are you more of a Troy? Are you more of a Nolan? There used to be like hashtag Team Troy, Team Nolan.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it's like that is the way, but I think it's fantastic that you're enjoing the new content that they're putting out. And I think they're working hard to put out really great positive content.
And I'm super excited for guests to come and be on there with Nolan. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Me too. Yeah. I have two, I guess, follow-up questions from that. In terms of guests on the show, as Dan says, do you guys have a particular guest that you think that you would love to see on the show or love to see back on the show? Michelle, we can start with you this time.
Yep, me.
Yes.
Excellent question. Excellent answer. We've never had that before. I swear we've never seen the first one. Yeah, there you go. It's amazing.
No, I don't know. They've already had a decent amount of people on. I love obviously the atmosphere that everybody brings to the table with him. The new relationship with him and Liam, that would be fun. I wouldn't mind seeing his other son or his wife if they ever wanted to be on.
That could be
interesting.
I
thought that would be.
Speaking of you being a guest, we do know that they're trying to do the replayer guest contest. So maybe it could be you.
It could be.
Yeah, it could be. As far
it would be a shit show of a show, but I would definitely be there.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I would love to see you on the couch with Nolan, just being like,
no, 100%. The entire time. He would ask me a question. I'd just be like, I'm sorry, what? Huh?
I didn't get that. I was lost in your eyes. Would you mind repeating?
Right, exactly.
Hey man, that's a good answer, and I think you're totally right with the dynamic between Liam and Nolan, especially when we got that glimpse of them together in the live feed in Nolan's back garden. Like, that was so cute, and I think like their personalities are so compatible. They riff off each other very well, and they did that in the members live, the Australian charity stream in January as well. So that was like, I think that's a perfect combination. So I totally agree. Jen, what about you?
Me.
No.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I've been like every time, like anytime they bring it up or even when they don't bring it up, I'm like, I will literally drop everything to fly to LA to
100%.
be on the show.
Right? Everyone's like, me. Hey,
for me, like it's not even that far. It's like a 2.5-hour flight. Like
I'll come running towards Drew with my stack of like old games. Like, let me on the show.
Like you don't even have to pay for anything. I will just fly down there. Like I don't even care. I will get down there.
Once COVID's over, a flock of replayers will be like, let's just all go.
Yep.
Right?
We're gonna Area 51 this bitch.
Yeah.
But besides me, I would like to see Claudia Black back again because I love her. I'm clearly a large Stargate fan, as you can see my behind me. And so I love Claudia Black, and she's has so much fun when she's on the show. Like,
Oh, yeah.
she's hilarious. She cracks herself up. She makes great, like, Grace makes great gifts of her. Like,
Grace is just
100%,
a
like,
gift from God. Like, let's
she's
all
so
be
good at it.
real.
It's just amazing.
So good.
And like, besides that, like, I don't even know. Like, I would be happy with any guest they have on, honestly. Like, whatever they want to do, but especially
Christopher
if it's me.
Judge, maybe.
Oh God, Christopher Judge would be great.
Oh, that'd be unreal, wouldn't it? I only said it because he's in your poster.
He's so funny. Like, that would be great. That would be an
That'd be cool. What if they did God of War with Christopher Judge?
That'd be even cooler. I mean, Nolan's in it, so
listen, Drew. Coming out with quality content. Pick it up so I don't email you later.
Oh God, that'd be great.
If Drew wasn't already thinking of it, now he is.
Now he is.
Yeah.
You just mentioned Stargate, and you have this like poster in the background. For the audio listeners that can't see, she's got a poster behind her. How long have you been into Stargate? Like, when did that
10
start?
years now.
10 years.
10 years. I got into it way late because it ended. I don't even remember when it ended. Like, I'm
Did
a huge
you start
fan.
with the show or the movie?
The show.
Good question.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
question.
I was dating somebody and she showed me one random episode, I think in like season 3 or something, and I was like, what is this show and how come I have never heard of it and what the heck? And I was hooked. Like, I rented all of the DVDs from Netflix and had them sent to me. They weren't getting here fast enough, so I went to the library and I got DVDs from there. I watched all 10 seasons immediately. I watched Atlantis after that, and then I put off watching Stargate Universe because I heard such bad things about it that I was just like, I don't know that I want to watch it. And then I finally watched it, and I was like, what's everybody talking about? This show is great. Like, what are you talking about? I also have like a whole bunch of other Stargate stuff over here.
Nice.
Nice. My big Stargate wall, and then I've got my my framed pictures.
Your photos?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here, let me take you over there.
Yes, I'd love to
go on a trip.
Over there. Oh no.
Oh no.
Terrible sound.
Oh no.
Oh God. Okay.
So we've got
look at this.
Memorabilia.
Richard Dean Anderson, and we got
oh wow.
I can't even tell what I'm looking at.
Oh my God, is that Christopher Judge?
That's Christopher Judge. And that is Cliff Simon. And
nice.
And I can't even tell what I'm looking
It's
at.
a better
Amanda
angle.
Tapping and Michael Shanks. There we go.
Oh my gosh. So you've not yet met Claudia?
I have not met Claudia. She's like the last on my list to meet.
Oh my!
And I told her that. I told her that.
Did
on
you?
Twitter. And she was like, "Yes, we have to make it happen." And I was like, "Yes, please. Like, please make it happen." And next,
this is why I need to get better at Twitter.
At 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now is supposed to be the Stargate convention in Vancouver, Canada. And I was going to get to meet Ben Browder, who was on Farscape with Claudia. And I was going to get to meet David Blue from Stargate Universe and like all these other people that I hadn't got a chance to meet yet. I had to postpone it till next year. So,
okay. I was going to say, are they postponing it or are they just going to do like a digital version?
They postponed it, thank God, because I actually I have a friend who was going to get us a hotel room at the actual con hotel because he like got a bunch of money out of nowhere and was like, yeah, I'll get the hotel room. Don't worry about it. And I was just like, oh my God. And then I was like, I actually had money for a good ticket. And I was just like, no, I don't get to go.
I know.
I was going to say, speaking of Claudia, because we know there's the aforementioned possible female-led retro replay show that they said they were working on.
That.
We had thought that it'd be great if it was Claudia. We don't know if it's going to be her, but that'd be really cool, though.
That would be really cool.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jen would just like.
I'd just be like the whole time.
You go into my face.
It would be me next to Nolan on the couch the entire time.
Like,
yeah.
Just have a stroke face constantly.
No, man. I think she's a good personality. I think that's a really good answer. Really good answer.
Yeah.
I support
real quick,
those answers.
Back to Stargate. What do you think of the movie?
It's okay. I mean, it is what it is. Like,
okay.
I watched the series first, and then I watched the movie, and I was like, no, I like it, but
I watched the movie first,
yeah,
and then I watched the show as it came out. I haven't seen all the show, but I do like it. But I actually watched the movie like in theaters when it first came out, and it was a new big thing, and it was like, wow, this movie is amazing. Before there was a show.
Yeah, like I appreciate the movie for what it is, but I just don't like Kurt Russell as O'Neill. Like, I just don't.
So no, I have the opposite problem because I'm used to Kurt Russell being O'Neill.
Yeah. I love Richard Dean Anderson. He's like my favorite. The fact that I actually got to meet him not once but twice is
cool.
so awesome.
My
and
sister is a
just so
huge
nice
Stargate fan, and it stems from her love for Richard Dean Anderson as MacGyver.
He's just such a great guy. Like when the first time I met him at Emerald City Comic Con, I waited in his line for an hour and a half, and I was 3 people away to the front of the line, and he had to go off to photo ops.
No.
And he like looked at the line, and he was like, "Wait a minute, so all these people just have to wait for me to come back?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "How long ago did they tell you I had to leave?" And I was like, 15 minutes. He's like, "You guys make sure that you know what order you were in. Like, I don't want you have to wait here for me." So we got Post-it notes with numbers on them on where we were in line, so we could leave and come back. So we didn't have to
so
waste
much better.
2 hours sitting there. And I was like, "Thank you." Like, who does that? Like, he's just super, super nice guy. Like, I just love him. Like,
that was nice.
But yeah, Stargate's like it's my thing. It's my favorite thing.
I remember seeing bits of Stargate. I just don't think I've ever seen like a full episode or a full series or anything. Like, I just remember seeing bits of Stargate and like characters specifically, like Claudia's character or Chris Judge's character. I just remember them very vividly.
And it's a lot to take in. I mean, there's 10 seasons of SG-1, there's 5 seasons of Atlantis, and there's 2 seasons of SGU, and then there's 2 additional movies that go on the back of SG-1.
How many episodes per season, though? Are they short seasons?
20. No, there's
standard like American television seasons.
Yeah, they're long, so it's a lot of watch time. So like, I'm going through a rewatch right now, and I'm only on season 5. Like,
and Jason Momoa is in Atlantis.
And he is.
Oh, no shit.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I got to meet him at Emerald City Comic Con a couple of years too.
Did you really?
I had him sign my Atlantis box set with his
Tell
picture
me you
on
licked his muscles, please.
I asked him, I was like, "Do you get more fans from Game of Thrones or more fans from Stargate?" And he was like, "Honestly, Stargate." And I was like,
interesting.
Really?
Interesting.
Probably because he was only in season 1.
Yeah.
True. I was going to say about the Jason Momoa thing. How much did you pay to meet him or get an autograph from him?
I think it was $85 for the autograph.
Snack bang, because if you got one now, like recently last year,
it'd be real.
In October in London, he was charging £350.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Yeah, £350
I got it before Aquaman, so that helps too.
Oh,
as soon as he got like huge after Game of Thrones, like the price went up.
Yeah, I was super
$350
grateful.
and Hayden Christensen was $250.
I'm so glad that I met him when I did, because I knew it was my last chance. I was just
the discount Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa.
Wait, I have a question for Pagan and Dan.
Oh my god.
Since Stargate is Jen's thing, what is your guys' thing? Your biggest?
Oh.
TV, video games, what are we talking here?
Biggest fandom.
Oof.
Don't think I have one. Lord of the Rings, maybe.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings is pretty big in my household.
I have tattoos of 2 of my favorite cartoons ever.
Okay.
I haven't talked at all about on the podcast. One of which is this big poster right behind me.
This exclusive brought to you by.
That's my Fooly Cooley symbol. That is the symbol for Adamus. That robot right there is the embodiment of in the anime called Fooly Cooley. And then this is the Urkin Empire symbol from Invader Zim. I was obsessed with that show as a child.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't have any tattoos. I lack the commitment.
I don't either.
No.
Same. Nothing.
All right. Well,
I just made Brandy watch TMNT 3 because I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, I want to watch Ninja Turtles.
I just have one. Sorry, I meant to say I have one. It just says hi. I don't know if you saw
I thought it was a really fancy symbol.
Don't mind this.
Looking at
This
it
is just
sideways.
for taking notes. Felt left out. What can I say? No, I don't think I have any big fandom. What's your big fandom, Michelle?
Easily for me. Hang on.
Oh, sorry. We're still going with you.
Yes.
Hold on, but I'm stupid for not saying this. Godzilla.
Oh, Godzilla.
100%.
Sure, that's
like
your
the
thing.
30s films or the newer?
Look at my. I have a calendar above me of Godzilla versus Megalon.
Yes, I love the old school movies.
I have a giant DVD box sets that Brandy bought me for just a random present. I have every Godzilla movie ever made. I am super passionate about
Amazing.
Godzilla. Yeah, I'm a Godzilla nut.
Interesting.
Until he forgets about Godzilla completely.
Right, that part.
Yeah, true.
So do you like the new movies?
I do like the new movies.
I do too.
I do
actually.
appreciate them, especially King of the Monsters, because it had a lot of
Oh, it was good.
nods to the old movies.
Yes, it did.
It's unique in
I
itself,
liked it.
but it has a lot of great nods to the originals.
Interesting.
And
Now
Michelle?
I'm done.
Oh, okay. I can go now. Is it my turn?
You can go now.
Oh,
You have
okay, thank
permission
you.
to speak.
My biggest, well, I have 2, possibly 3. My biggest is Harry Potter. That's what this is. This is an
Nice.
entire Harry Potter half sleeve.
I didn't notice until you've just
Ooh.
pointed it out. Oh
Yeah.
my god, it's Hogwarts.
There's the top is Hogwarts.
I see
There's
the
That is
owl and the
awesome.
there's a lot
owl,
of
it's Hedwig.
content. Yeah,
That's
there's a lot of content in there.
really cool. I like that.
I got into Harry Potter as a child, so like I think I was 10, maybe
You
younger.
grew up with them.
Yeah, I grew up with the books, so I'm a big book fan. I've been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando several times, which is I'm very lucky to be able to do that. And then so recently, somebody asked me if Harry Potter or Game of Thrones was your favorite, and I was like, oh, you can't ask me that. So I said Harry Potter was my favorite as a child, and it's what I'm going to carry for the rest of my life. Game of Thrones is my childhood adult Harry Potter.
That makes sense.
So,
adult Harry Potter.
yes. I am obsessed with Game of Thrones. I don't have any tattoos of them yet. I've read the books. I've watched the series a million times. Absolutely adore the lore and the history and the story, and I love Game of Thrones.
That's pretty fascinating. I like that there's 2 I guess, what are they, like sci-fi fantasy?
Yeah, fantasy, I guess.
Yeah, a series, and then you're kind of, you have one
Obsessed.
for like a childhood or a certain age. I think there's a lot to be said for stuff that you grow up with. I loved Harry Potter. I was such a big Harry Potter nut. I'm not a big fan of the films,
Nope.
especially from 4 onwards. I hated them. But I love the books, and
Yes.
I didn't know anything about the Lord of the Rings until about 10 years ago, or like 12 years ago now, where I didn't really know about them, and I didn't go see them. I saw one in the cinema, and it was completely out of context. I went with a friend. So my parallels switched, I guess. I still am a big fan of Harry Potter. I'm very lucky to say I've also been to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter was not actually open in Orlando. It was opening 2 weeks after I was there.
Oh man.
So I just missed it. But one of the rides was open. One of the dragon rides was open, so I got to do that. But I have been twice to the Warner Brothers Studios tour.
So I
Harry
just
Potter.
finally went there in September.
Oh, isn't it amazing?
Amazing. I had the best time.
Cool.
I spent like
It's
6 hours.
For sure. They at the beginning, I don't know if you guys have been there yet, Dan and Jen, if you ever wanted to go, they're all like, oh yeah, give yourself about like 3 to 4 hours to get around the whole thing. That's a lie. 6 to 8 hours for sure, like minimum,
100%.
because you want to stay. And if you have did you get the guide?
Yep,
Yeah,
audio
for
guide,
sure.
everything.
The audio guide.
Where is this you were talking about?
It's in London.
It's in London.
No, what is it?
Oh, Harry Potter Studios, the studio.
Oh, okay. I thought
It's
that's
the
what you were
Warner
talking about. I
Brothers
just wanted to
Studios,
make sure.
where they were
Yeah.
filmed.
I have not been, obviously.
I watched a video of a friend that went.
Perfect.
Same thing.
Yeah. It's essentially the same.
Felt like I
It
was there.
takes 6 hours, then same thing.
It's a long ass video.
No, I was very lucky.
no.
I went on a solo trip to Europe in September, and that was like the defining thing for my trip. I was like, I have to go to that. That's the first ticket I'm buying. And I went from France to London just to do that, and it was just amazing.
It's just
straight
the
up
best
6 hours.
experience. If you
Yeah.
like behind the scenes thing, if you like Harry Potter in general, you're just going to love it. It's just
Yes.
filled with so many tidbits, and the audio guide, highly recommend getting them if anybody's ever thinking of them, because they're just the clips, I guess, the behind the scene clips. They've made them into like audio guides, so when you go into a section, you have like 4 clips per section. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Does
yeah,
this
I
count?
would have
I went
said
to
Harry Potter,
a
but right now
Harry Potter themed beer drinking like
you did
test.
say this. You went to the
Same thing.
Oh,
before lockdown.
what house are you in?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
What house are
He
you in?
doesn't
That's a
like
good
that question. What house are
Harry
you in?
Potter.
Michelle.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought you were asking Dan.
No, I know
My
he's a
bad.
He knows
Ravenclaw.
what. Yeah.
Oh,
What are
I'm
you?
100% Gryffindor. I've taken the test twice.
100% hardcore.
100%.
You get twice just in case.
I know my wand, I know my Patronus, and I know my house. Yeah.
I have a shirt that
Patronus is
says
a
my Patronus
dolphin.
is Godzilla.
That's awesome.
That's good. That's good enough for me.
Mine is a chestnut stallion.
Oh, very nice. Mine is a dolphin. I wasn't very happy with that, but oh well, I'll just take it. I'm pretty sure I have a phoenix heartstring or something. No, I have a dragon heartstring, right? In my wand. We were discussing this recently.
We did.
Okay.
Jen, are you a Harry Potter fan? Do you know what house you're in?
I'm not a reader, so I've never read the books, but I did
Could've
enjoy the movies.
Oh,
I enjoyed all of the movies. I saw the second one in the theater, so yeah, I've been into it for a while.
Yeah, so I'm pretty big Harry Potter fan.
Right.
We're gonna send Jen the Harry Potter house sorting quiz just so that you know.
I am
in
a
general,
Hufflepuff.
when you have this, are you Hufflepuff? You know?
I know.
I was gonna say she's a Hufflepuff, but
I was gonna guess.
We went to the Wizarding World in California. We haven't been to the Orlando one. We're supposed to go in October, but we'll see. And I went to they had like a Harry Potter museum traveling thing, and they had that at the Science Fiction Museum in Seattle. So I went to that, which was super cool because they had costumes and tidbits and super cool stuff. That was a lot of fun. But
that's awesome.
That's as far as I've gotten.
Cool. That's cool. All right, cool. Now we've all sorted ourselves into Harry Potter things. Let's start to replay.
What's that?
Right.
What?
Why are we here?
There are just 2 questions. I'll shorten it down for the gaming questions for the show. You guys can just answer as honestly. Do you have a favorite game, a video game? And do you know when you started playing games? Like, what was your first introduction to gaming? Michelle, we'll start with you.
Say who?
My introduction to gaming was when I was very young. Probably because we didn't have anything else to do. Nintendo, classic Nintendo, and then we got the N64, like that old school Empire Strikes Back game, that old Star Wars game that was always so freaking hard. And then when PlayStation came out, I've been a PlayStation guru ever since.
Nice.
Someone recently on the podcast, I think it was Ash, guru, said that he's very brand loyal. And
yes, that's right.
So I wanted to backpack on that because I have a Sony TV, and then I've followed PlayStation for as long as they have come out with consoles. And one time in my apartment got struck by lightning, and my TV got fried, and my PlayStation got fried. And I had to send my PlayStation off to Sony, and then Sony sent somebody to come in and repair my TV, and all of it was free of charge, and they replaced everything. Best customer service on the planet.
Wow.
And so now I'm so brand loyal to Sony. I have a Sony TV. I have a Sony radio in my car that we replaced. My PlayStation, my sound bar, everything is Sony.
Wow. That's amazing.
I have something to add.
Okay.
No.
Since Ash has been on the podcast, and since he said that to me, he's also said off the record that he's considering getting an Xbox Series X. And Ash, you can say rude. You can deny this all you want, but you said those words to me.
That was off the record. You're gonna get toasted by Ash when you get off here.
I don't care. I had to say it. I said to him too. I'm like, you said you were brand loyal. So he said, I know, but I'm seriously considering getting an Xbox.
Nothing wrong with being brand loyal and trying something else.
No, of course not.
As long as he also buys PlayStation 5, that's fine.
As long as he also
you can also get an Xbox Series X. But you got to get the 5, okay?
No, I can respect that though. And I've gone through similar experiences with Sony and Microsoft. Like Microsoft's helped me out in tough spots too. And I'm always like, I love this customer service. It's great. I also have Sony TVs. I'm using a Sony monitor. I have Sony TV for my main
Sony.
TV. They make good products. And that's something that I recently was listening to some industry experts talking about the differences between Sony and Microsoft, whereas Sony is a product development company. And Microsoft is a software product company. They make different things. They market differently. So it's interesting to see where we're going in the future.
Yeah. And then to answer the question real quick about the game, Uncharted is a favorite, obviously. But actually, there's an old PlayStation 1 game called Jet Moto that not a lot of people know about.
Jet Moto.
I know Jet Moto. Pagan Googles.
Yeah.
I used to play Jet Moto on a demo disc all the time. Oh.
Dude, did you used to get those demo discs where they would send you like
PlayStation
20
magazine?
Games? Yeah.
It was like PlayStation Monthly with a demo
and then
disc.
they would send you, and then you could either buy it or did you have to send it back?
Now the ones I had, I kept them all. I still
The
I had
demo
all of
discs,
them.
I think you could keep, but they used to like Parappa the Rapper. That's how I got onto Parappa the Rapper.
I remember that game.
Parappa the Rapper.
That's how I played Parappa. That's how I played like Gran Turismo 2.
Yeah,
that's how I played Einhander. It's probably how I got introduced to a lot of my favorite PlayStation 1 games.
So I did Midnight Club was another one, and then Jet Moto, and then the original Tomb Raiders are a favorite always.
Nice.
I'm
Pagan's still Googling.
I'm Googling it. I actually think it looks really fascinating. It's like a motorcycle game? Is this the right one that I'm looking at?
They're like hover bikes.
They're hover bikes.
Hover bikes. Oh, sorry. Similar theme, though, right?
Similar. Okay. And then you can like grapple and hold on to things as you turn corners, and you can turbo, and it's pretty fun.
That's kind of cool. I like that. I like that. Jen, same question. What's your introduction to gaming, and do you have a favorite game?
I remember telling the story the first time I was on the podcast, but
so move on. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Going on.
Refresh. The original Nintendo came out on my 3rd birthday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
October 18th, 1985.
Wow.
I didn't get one when I was 3 because I was 3.
You old?
And then,
no, I'm just kidding.
I am old. There was a Nintendo store in the mall, and my grandpa took me there, and he saw the sign for the Nintendo. It was $199.99.
You did say this, and it's the cutest story.
So good.
And
it's worth
he asked if
sad.
I wanted one, and I was like, yes, of course I want one. My parents would never buy me this. And so he like told him he wanted one. We went to the counter. And he put $2 down. And I said, no, Grandpa, you need more than that. And he was like, it's okay, I've got change. And he pulled out his change purse, and I was like, Grandpa, it's $199.99. And he was like, oh, I don't have that much. And I was like, so I did not get a Nintendo then either. It was super sad, but it was super. It's my favorite story about my grandpa.
Adorable.
It's
such
the best.
An adorable moment for your grandpa. Oh.
And then I ended up getting a Nintendo because I got the chicken pox, and my parents didn't want me to scratch, so they rented me as many games as they could from Blockbuster, and I did not scratch any of them. And I played a lot of video games, and my favorite original Nintendo game is Super Mario 3.
Nice.
And that is all because of the movie The Wizard.
The Wizard.
In 1989.
Googling.
Super old school. It's got Fred Savage and Christian Slater in it.
I remember that movie as a kid as the Super Mario Brothers 3 movie.
Right? Exactly.
Like it was just a massive promotion for that game.
The second they revealed that game, I was like, what is this game? And I was obsessed with it. Like, it was ridiculous. And then later on in life, I got a PS1 for Christmas. I played Spyro for hours and hours and hours and days. And then I got Gran Turismo 4. And I got every single Mitsubishi Lancer you could get in every single color.
OG Spyro.
OG
Spyro.
And then here's Jet Moto, the cover of Jet Moto.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Jet Moto 3, no less.
And then I also have
989 Studios and Medieval.
Oh, I think Dan, you have Medieval, right? Do you have Medieval?
I don't know if I have that one originally, but I was going to mention that 989 Studios also made the 2 Extreme and 3 Extreme games, which is what I had said that made you remember Barbie. Because I was talking about rollerblading.
That's right. Oh. Listen, Barbie Sports was the thing, and I only remembered it. Do you guys ever have that moment where, like, you literally don't, like, you'll just remember something that you totally forgot about? Like, you haven't thought about something like this in years, decades even, and I just, like, something just snapped when he told me, and I was like, oh my God, I don't even remember that, but I dedicated so many hours to that game.
Right.
I need to go back and talk to Holly about it. Holly Causer, who was on the show recently, she actually remembers that game as well. And I was
Holly.
We need to chat because I want to reminisce. I'm going to try to find some sort of emulator or something. I'm going to download it somewhere.
Jen, what was your favorite part about Mario Brothers 3?
The raccoon tail, obviously.
Of course, obviously.
Got to get the Tanuki Mario suit, obviously.
You're so cute.
I got.
Oh my
there
God.
Oh, I got him.
Adorable.
I got that for one of my birthdays one year.
Did you ever have the old strategy guides for Mario with like the world-to-world pictures where they took screenshots of every part of the level?
We have a special guest.
Kitty.
Birthday girl Zoe.
Zoe. Oh, she's adorable.
Hi, baby. Happy birthday. 17 years old.
Wow.
17. That's
That's
a
an
good
old cat.
age.
Lady.
Good age for a lady.
No,
My eldest cat I think was 14. Yeah. Oh, they're such good companions.
I'm gonna go back on the 989 Studios thing, talking about companies. I actually always found it interesting that Crash Bandicoot was one of our favorites growing up. I had two older sisters, so it's always a battle on who was gonna play. Crash was always one of our favorites, and then Jack and Daxter, loved it.
Oh yeah.
And then Uncharted came out, and it was like, dude, these are all the same company. Naughty Dog
The evolution.
putting out some shit. It was great.
I'm curious to see where this is going.
Oh, why?
I thought you were going to talk about 989 Studios more.
I was not.
Oh.
That's it.
You misled me.
That is it.
I was just going to talk about the fact that you brought up a company, and then I wanted to switch it to another company.
Are 99 Studios still going?
I don't think so.
Oh.
That or they've been bought out.
Didn't they get bought out by EA?
Possibly.
I don't know if that's.
They used to do a lot of sports games, and like they had their own football games, and then EA bought out the Madden NFL rights, so no other studio can make football games.
That's right.
Right.
So
I don't know. I checked out since like Zoe's here, and she's adorable, and it's like breaking my little heart. What's killing me is that Jen picked up the cat, and the cat has not struggled to leave her side.
She loves hanging out with me. Like, she used to be the most timid, skittish cat in the whole world. She hated other people that weren't me, and now, like, she follows me all over the apartment. She loves Rachel's best friend. Like, she is just the cuddliest, cute. She got so much better in her old age. After her brother died, like, she just got so much more comfortable. Like, I think I spent too much time like coddling him, and she was just jealous, so she just stayed away. And now that she's my baby, she's just like, Mom.
It's crazy. I'm like, we have a cat. I think I've brought this up before. We have an A cat that has come into our life somehow. I don't know who she belongs to, but she's mine now. But she does not like to be picked up. Holy fucking war! No, don't pick the cat up unless you want to lose some eyeballs. Like, just don't do it. So this is incredibly infuriating for me.
If I picked up our boy cat, Bug, he hates being held, and he will just squirm and wiggle, and then he'll make the saddest noise in the whole world. He's just like,
I know this sound because my neighbor's cat does the same sound. Sorry, I know we're going to go on to cat topic.
Tangent.
Cat tangent. Only because the neighbor's cat comes in, and he's beautiful, a blue cat. Jonas, actually, a friend of the show. Jonas has the same color cat. My mind blew when I found that out because I didn't know this cat had like multiple things. We didn't know what he was. And Jonas is like, oh my God, it looks like my cat. Turns out it looks like the same cat. But yeah, he's pretty cute, but he does make the saddest noise if you pick him up. Like it's just the most disappointed noise you've ever heard. It's very sad.
Our kitten does it too. She also just squirms and just is just like, it's like, okay, fine.
I think that's worse with anything, like dogs, cats, horses, llamas. I'm like, come here and love me. Like, right. I want to just love you. Like, if you ever gone to like a petting zoo or something and nobody's like coming over, you're like, excuse me, like, I'm here. I paid you to come in here and pet you. Come on over.
My dog hates being upside down, like what your cat's doing right now. So I'll just like flip him upside down and then hold him and just be like, let me love you.
Yeah, just give me a cuddle for God's sake. It's horrible.
She doesn't even care.
Just soft core animal abuse. It's all right.
Yeah, it's
fine. I could go on about my cats that I had, but I don't currently own them anymore. They're with other exes and things.
Aww.
I mean, at least they're still happy and healthy. Yeah. That's what's important.
That's what's important. Mm-hmm. And as long as they live to a good age. My mom once had to look after a cat for a guy in the hotel because they didn't allow the hotels there. But she was like, yeah, he could stay with me. It's no problem. This cat was 22.
Oh my God.
22, and he was blind and partially deaf. And it was just the cutest cat ever. Now, he was a long-haired cat, and he looked a little, forgive me for saying this, he looked a little like roadkill. Yeah. But he was just, he was 22. He barely could move anymore. I got to like the litter box and then the bed and the litter box and the bed, and that was it. And it was just the cutest thing. Anyway, I don't know how to segue that into retro replay. We're going to
Speaking of cats.
Speaking of roadkill.
Love those cats over at Retro Replay.
Love those cats.
I
love those cats at Retro Replay. Just like using a casual jazz phrase. Oh, those crazy cats at Retro Replay.
Cat swipe.
Hey, all you crazy cats and kittens.
This week
I'm going to have to find one now.
Yeah, 3 shows. Father Knows Best, Advice from Uncle Lily, and Uncharted 3, the definitive playthrough. So we're going to start with Father Knows Best. Jen, you kind of touched on this earlier before, and you'd said that like you're loving the show with Nolan and Cooper and their relationship and everything. Michelle, how are you feeling about it?
I like it. The only thing is I feel bad because I can't make the lives on that one.
Okay.
So I always have to watch it on replays. Retro replay. Anyway.
I get what you did there.
No, I actually really like it. I'm more upset that they didn't use my name for the show. Because they
what did you have?
I said the North Star Wars.
Oh, that's
good.
That is good.
I was upset about it. No, not really. No, I really like it because I love their dynamic, like what we got introduced to in their first live from their backyard. And I was mentioning earlier, that's when my face was on the bar. That's when I was on the bar, was that live from his backyard. And I was like, yeah. No, it's exactly what Jen was saying earlier of how like Cooper, or I think it was Pagan, you said it, Cooper's so desensitized. But then there's sometimes where Nolan will say something and Cooper's just like, God damn it, this is my father. I love the dynamic, and I've actually never played any of the Lego games, so I'm really enjoying watching the Lego games being played.
So you actually get to enjoy the Let's Play of the Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jen, are you the same? Have you played any of the Lego games?
Rachel and I started playing Lego Harry Potter. We haven't really gotten very far in it, and we also started playing Lego Jurassic World, which is cool because it has all of the Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah.
Games in it, so it's really cool. We haven't gotten very far yet, but they are fun. Like I played a little bit of Lego Avengers a couple years ago, and that one was fun too. Like they're fun and they're a lot. It's like if you want a game where you don't have to like stress out about a bunch.
Yeah.
It's
that's what they look like. Yeah,
a lot more relaxing than
playing
Uncharted over and over again.
As long as you don't worry about dying in those
like
games.
that though. Incredibly stressful games.
Right.
Yeah. Not like every single game I'm playing right now that's just incredibly stressful.
It's fun to see this kind of multiplayer. Like this is the first time they've actually done like a multiplayer series of a game, which is extremely interesting because you can see that dynamic where it's like, oh no, we need to do this. Oh no, we need to do this. So, like, come over to this edge of the screen. I need to get something. Like, would you please come over?
That's
and
the couch co-op screen polling, like that struggle.
Yeah.
That struggle is so it's so vivid in their gameplay as well because it's a a father and son
come over here
dynamic
anyway. You come over here. I'm trying to go over here.
Right. So there's moments. There's that moment where he's like, no, this is what we need to do, and he's like, no, I think we need to, and he's like, no, this is what we need to do, but we can't do this because we actually need a dark side character because this is like a glowing red thing, so we need this. I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. Like I didn't think about this before. That it's like. It's only really hit me that like it's a great multiplayer, it's a great like show, but it's really something they've done first time that can appeal to people who do like couples, like you and Rachel, like me and Adam. Adam and
Adam.
where we'd play like multiplayer games like Knack or this like Star Wars or something.
Cue Adam recording. Dunk. Hey, how you doing?
I'm going to the store.
Just go to the shop.
It's 10 o'clock at night. That's fine.
Yeah, you're gonna have to drive an hour and a half.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
That works well for you. Oh, he went to the store. He won't be back for a while.
That's it. Adam was here. He's just gone out for
goes to
when
the
did he do that?
store a
Like
lot.
10 years ago. He'll be back in a minute.
He went out for cigarettes. He just didn't come back.
Brilliant. Did you guys have any moments from this particular episode? I know that like I do want to just throw out a quick shout out to Undead Gaming UK, which is Colin, and he made the amazing custom controller for Cooper.
It's so cool.
I didn't think they could do that. If I'm honest, I thought they were all like, I know that he's custom, but I just didn't think it was that custom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is it's inspired by the design of a guitar. Like I just thought that was great. I thought he'd done it really, really well.
Well, the fact that he like took it as far as like getting guitar paint for it, like
right?
That's such a level of detail.
The dedication is brilliant. Yeah.
So good.
That was probably one of my favorite parts actually of this week, was how Cooper was explaining it and how his face was just lit up, and he was saying like how the painting was and how it was going against the guitar and exactly the type of like transition it was and the wood and everything. It was just like, whoa, like he really likes it.
Deep dive.
Yeah.
He loves
Shout out
it.
to Callan.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He also gave Nolan the Uncharted one as well.
Love it.
Nolan has an Uncharted one too. Such good controllers. If anybody is looking for them, it's Undead Gaming. I think .uk. So we could put a link in the description below, because if you want to check him out on Twitter as well, Undead Gaming UK, because he'll have like promo codes and stuff like that up there occasionally when he's doing offers. So you get £10 off or something.
And if anyone does care, he does do Xbox controllers too.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I was looking at Xbox controllers.
Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody.
Love that.
One buddy.
Any particular moment in this game that you guys liked, or this episode in general?
I can think of it.
Silence.
Yeah, I don't know in this one specifically. My favorite moment actually came from Thursday's retro replay, so I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay. All right. No problem.
Save it for that.
Yeah, we'll save it for that. We'll skip right on. Jen, what about you?
Yeah, I didn't really have like a favorite moment, but just all of it is just always so good between them. Like I
think that's what makes it hard to talk about.
Yeah,
because
it's
you
just
enjoy the whole
so
thing
good.
as a whole.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say any one specific thing.
Yeah.
I do have two specific things in this one episode.
Oh, good.
The first one was when he's actually like when they're running in the corridor and the grates. He doesn't realize that the grate, you fall through the grate.
Yeah.
So the holes in the floor. So he falls through the first one. And he's like, oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay. And then he comes back and immediately falls through the second grate and then comes back and like puts together, I don't know what this thing is. It like puts together something and it blows up and he dies. And she's like, ah. And I was like, that is perfect. That was just wonderful. You died so many times in that like 2 minutes.
Like 30, yep.
That's a very Lego any game moment right there.
For
like
sure.
Anyone playing a Lego game will do exactly that.
They're like, oh, I did it again. Oh,
yeah, it's like, oh. Just
don't do that next time.
And then he got blown up. It was very funny. And the commitment for True Jedi. Just at the very end, I felt so bad when they were about to board the Millennium Falcon, and they were just like,
so close.
God, is there anything here that we can get?
It's all about the money.
And I was like,
it's all about the money.
All about the money.
It felt really bad.
I was like, there's got to be something, right? Are they missing it? I don't know what it is. I can't help.
These things light up. Like, what are they? What are they for? Like,
the funny thing about that is they're trying so hard to get True Jedi on the first go of a level. When any Lego game you play, it gets infinitely easier when you replay the levels because you start getting multipliers when you replay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I didn't know that. But the commitment for True Jedi is really nice. And like, it's almost like a completionist thing with, I think, Nolan actually, because he likes to get the mini packs as well.
Yeah.
To like build stuff later. And I think this was mentioned the first episode as well. Like Nolan used to have like a guide back in the day when they played it with Cooper before. And he used to have a guide to like actually go and collect everything. So that's kind of cool to see.
Random on that. Do you guys remember on like original PS1 games when they used to make books to help walk you through the
guides,
game?
walkthrough guides? Yeah, for sure.
That's one of those things that you were just talking about that I have like not thought about in forever. And then when we would go to the store, it'd be like, dude, we have to look at the guide for Tomb Raider because we can't get past this one part. So we would go just into the electronic section and search for it and be like, okay, so that's how you do it. And then we would have to go home and remember how to do it.
I was going to say the same thing about Tomb Raider. I used to have those. I used to have the walkthroughs from Tomb Raider. I have no idea where they are now. I don't know if they're in storage. I don't know if we just gave them away. But
Speaking
oh my God,
guides,
we used to have loads of those. Yeah,
I've got a couple on that shelf up there.
I used to be, as a collector, I would always pre-order and buy my guides for the games I was buying without the intention of ever using them.
Did you ever open them?
Just sometimes. It depends. Okay. Like it depends if they came sealed or packaged. But I have guides for games that I bought with the game, but never used. More because they were part art book, art guide.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like guides were such a big thing last gen, and then now it's just not. Like there's a guide for Cyberpunk.
Google everything.
Cyberpunk's gonna have a guide. It's gonna probably be one of the only games to come out this year that's gonna have a guide.
Wow,
that's cool.
Animal Crossing kind of had a guide. Sort of.
Does it? God, Animal Crossing. I haven't thought about that game in a while.
You haven't been playing
Probably
Animal Crossing?
I should probably play it. I spent €60 on it. I
Right.
was, you know what? I fell for the hype. I'm not gonna lie. I fell for the hype.
hype
Everyone was like,
gotcha.
I'm so excited for this game. Little did I know they had been waiting for this for years because they played the original. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's what the hype is. Anyway, I had asked several people and they're like, get it. You won't regret it. It's gonna be great. And I was in a weird headspace the day that it came out. And I was like, I just feel weird and I just want something to cheer me up and I don't know what to do and I don't really have anything to play. Like the games hadn't come out that I wanted to play at the minute. So I was like, okay, fine. Maybe I should just try this thing. So I digitally downloaded it for the Switch and I played like, I don't know, a collective 3 hours or something. Yeah. I
You should
suck.
have just got Stardew Valley.
Yeah, probably.
There's a question for you guys. Are you guys digital downloaders or do you like to have the physical disc?
I liked the disc.
I like to have the disc, but when it comes to pre-orders, I've realized I have to do digital.
Boo.
Oh.
I am a mixture of both. I've gone very hard digital over the last couple of years for a couple of reasons. I will
Xbox
get
sucks?
No. Why would
Okay.
Xbox have sucking
Are you
have
sure
anything
that's
to do
not
with
why?
that? But I
I
buy all
love
my
how
games.
it's like almost just slipped right in there. Just like, oh, because Xbox sucks? Yeah.
Is
But
that
I
what
buy
it
all
is?
my games on Xbox digitally because then I
Okay.
game share with my friends and family who can also play the game, and I buy it once.
All right, snap.
You're like, yeah,
Uh,
that's why it doesn't suck.
Yeah,
So
Pretty
there.
much.
actually, pretty much. You gotta say,
no,
Microsoft
that's
has
actually
it
pretty
on
cool.
when it comes to like gameplay sharing as well as
The-
like the
The
Game Pass
other reason I don't buy physically as much is due to physical items being
Base.
stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been robbed and
Fair.
I've had a fair amount of my collection stolen. You can't
Same.
steal digital games.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
we're
Unless
we're
they
very
just-
lucky though. I mean, most of the games that were stolen from us, like we had actually either digitally downloaded it when it came out for PS Plus. Like for
Mm.
example, the Uncharted series or anything like that. Like we had a lot of those that were that came out PS Plus over the years. Anything that's free, that's decent, we'll just download anyway, even if
Yeah.
we have it on
Yeah.
a copy because it's good to have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, dude, I hear that.
But
I
the
would
other
like to
portion
start
is definitely
collecting.
the game sharing. Like being able to game share is a big plus.
True.
So
That is
that's one of the
pretty-
main reasons
yeah,
I
that's
do
pretty
it.
cool.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, Xbox is pretty great for that because I remember trying to do something like that before when Adam and I used to live in different houses. Like when he was
Yeah.
in his mom's and I was in mine, because I would be like, "Oh, can I just play this?" Or like, "Can I just pick it up at your house or whatever?" And he's like, "No, that's not how that works." And I was like, "Oh, well, that sucks." And then I found out
not?
about like Xbox, and I was like, "That's exactly what I wanted for PlayStation. Why haven't they hopped on that?" They still
Yeah,
haven't.
I mean, technically, you
Why
can
haven't
game
they?
share on PlayStation 2. You can game share.
Can you on PlayStation
It does
2?
work. Yes, it does work on PlayStation. You can game share.
Well, it's a good thing we're 3 generations after that.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm very glad I can do that on my oldest.
I have
one
a
of my
funny
second oldest system.
story on that
Oh,
note too.
did you say that like you could play on PlayStation 2 or PlayStation as well?
No,
I'm
2.
saying PlayStation as well.
Oh, as well.
Oh, I thought you
that
said
makes much more
PlayStation
sense. And I was like, could you on 2? That seems very forward for them.
Way over.
I am a
all-
natural
sorry.
blonde.
Yeah.
Yes, on PlayStation 4, you can also game share.
There you go.
Okay, there we go.
It
there we
does
go.
work.
need
You
more
On
can
PlayStation
do it.
4, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But I
Fun
feel like-
fact.
okay.
I
go.
had pre-ordered the collector's edition of Ghost of Tsushima because I was very excited for that game.
Oh yeah.
Decided I was too impatient to wait to pick up my physical copy of the game. So I also bought it digitally, got my collector's edition as well, and then sold the physical copy.
Oh,
I don't need the physical copy.
clever.
Yeah. I did that with
Smart.
Last of Us 2. I pre-ordered it and then it wasn't going to get here for like 5 days after release, and I was like, I don't want to wait that long. I want to play it when it comes out. So I
Yeah.
got the digital download, and then when it actually came in the mail, I had every intention of going and taking it back and getting my money back. But then I realized that my tattoo artist loves Last of Us, and I knew that he wasn't going to have the new one yet because he hadn't had work in months. And I went in for an appointment and I gave it to him as a tip.
That's
Oh, nice.
so
that's awesome.
nice.
That's awesome.
Super excited about that, and I was just like,
That's
well,
awesome,
awesome.
Jen.
I could have got the money back, but I feel way better giving it to him. 'cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way
That's
better.
awesome.
That's awesome. That's really nice. I like that. I love that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I've done that with any game.
Why are you
Like,
throwing
when-
shade at me, Michelle? What the F?
Oh, I don't know. 'Cause it's
I'm just
fun.
now picking up on this. Like, you dumped on me twice now.
Jumping on
Like,
you.
why are you just throwing shade at me?
'Cause I
The
can.
only man in the room, okay?
That part.
Like,
you're outnumbered.
you're outnumbered, friend.
We will see.
But also Xbox sucks. Anyways, I'm just kidding.
I
Xbox doesn't
flat out say
suck.
PlayStation sucks.
No,
Xbox
actually,
doesn't suck. I just like PlayStation
Xbox
better.
doesn't. I just
Right.
yeah. What Jen?
So
I still have Xboxes. Like I have 12 consoles now. Like I still have all of them.
You also have Xbox? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, here, hold on. Let me give you a little tour of the oh god, this is so hard to do on a laptop.
Oh, I see them.
Oh,
hi,
there's
Kitty.
Yeah, I've got all that, and then I've got this lovely photo.
I was gonna say, I was like, is that a Greg Neat poster?
Who's that?
I had it printed out specially for the game room.
That is perfect.
No, I throw shade on Xbox because a lot of my Destiny friends are on Xbox and I can't play with them.
See, well, that's why you need to get on Xbox to play with them.
Absolutely not.
Michelle's like, this is where I draw the line. Absolutely not.
Did you know that Destiny 2 is going to go free to play on Game Pass with Xbox Series X?
Well, awesome. So yes, and some of Destiny is already free to play.
True, but I mean, like with all the expansions up till now, it's going to have everything.
Yeah, I did know that.
I've been in your shoes though, Michelle. I know what you're talking about. I've been there where somebody's like, I want to play with my friends, but they're on PlayStation. They just go, well, just suck it up and get a PlayStation, bro. Like,
so you did.
We did that to my friend, and he bought one.
Yeah, I mean that's what Dan did.
But I think I've always had a PlayStation. It's usually I'm being told to buy the game for PlayStation. I'm like, I already own it for Xbox though, and I already play it on Xbox with other friends. Well, like I'm gonna buy Avengers for both consoles at this point.
Hopefully, crossplay comes soon because cross save already exists.
Crossplay is the best.
Crossplay via platform hopefully is going to come recently.
You know what does crossplay? Minecraft. You know who owns Minecraft? Xbox.
Microsoft.
You know who makes it so that it can play on PlayStation?
Microsoft.
All right.
Guess who doesn't play Minecraft?
Sit back down, Xbox. It's all right. Calm down. Jeez. Right, moving on to advice from Uncle Noli. This week we got quite a few questions. We got like 11 questions this week. Not that I counted. I did. We got quite a few questions. Did anybody have a favorite moment from this week or favorite question or answer? How do you guys like Uncle Noli actually? Like an actual standalone show. How do you like?
I like the set change.
The set change is good. I like it.
I like the set change a lot. I feel like it's very fitting for Uncle Noli. It also makes me a little hungry every time, but
a little hungry for meatballs.
Yeah.
That sounds weird. I didn't know. Wait, now hold on. I meant like spaghetti and meatballs, not just
right.
You just said balls.
Right. Okay. No, I said meatballs, which is also worse.
It's a little better, but
it's not even. It's always when I ever see that like that red and white checkered cloth. That's all I think about is spaghetti and meatballs. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I wonder why. No, you got me thinking on that now.
Is it because of Lady and the Tramp?
I don't know.
I feel like it is because I think Lady and the Tramp ate outside of the thing in Disney, and they had a red and white. You've not seen that, have you?
No.
Oh.
Wow.
I have another very unpopular opinion that people will hate me for.
Oh no.
Something about Disney. Go ahead.
I hate Disney.
Okay.
Oh, we can't be friends. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And this was fun though. Thank you for coming, Michelle. Take care.
Wait.
All right. Bye.
Hold on. You hate all of Disney?
Yeah.
Does that include Star Wars?
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Star Wars existed before Disney bought them, as did the Avengers. Pirates of the Caribbean, I unfortunately love.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
So I wasn't raised on Disney, and I've probably only seen a handful of their movies, if that. So I know I'm like weird.
I used to shout about how I think DreamWorks animated movies were way better than Disney's too.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. I was raised on like Monty Python, Star Trek, Star Wars, stuff like
Monty
that.
Python. I'm questioning how old you were though, because I'm like, that's not suitable for children.
Young.
Like, that's not suitable for like under 14, 15, because like a lot of those jokes are very racy.
Yeah, they are. That and Mystery Science Theater and the Three Stooges.
Love Mystery Science Theater.
Interesting.
So I'm not. And Disney, to me, I don't think Walt Disney was intending to be a bad person. I don't think he was a bad person. I think Disney as a company has grown to be a terrible company that's trying to take over the world. And
I mean,
don't like
they are.
That's a pretty common perception.
I don't think they hide the fact they're trying to take over the world. I think they just are. Like,
They just
Yeah.
actively are.
Yeah, it's not a hidden fact.
Some of my best girlfriends always make fun of me because they're like, you know, you love the Avengers, which means Captain Marvel is technically a Disney princess, and I just want to punch them in the face. Yeah.
I,
That's
for
the
one,
worst
welcome
argument
our
people
Disney
make.
overlords.
Right.
So.
When people
Jen's
start talking about
I
like
don't
Princess
care.
Leia being a
Rachel
Disney
and I
princess,
are
like
obsessed
no.
with Disney.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Alien is technically a Disney princess.
That's true.
Alien.
Yeah, let's
They're a
all
Fox
sit
property.
with that for a minute.
It is hot.
Who's your favorite Disney princess? Alien.
The Queen from Aliens.
Yeah, the Queen.
Yeah.
The
You know how it is.
Obviously.
I'm just picturing the Queen now, like with like a little like princess
tiara.
like tiara.
But like the hand-drawn animated version of the tiara on top
Right.
of the Queen's head.
Perfect.
Yes.
With the little
And then
bling.
you like Ripley, like, you stay away from her, you bitch.
Yeah, exactly. The flamethrower and everything.
No,
Mhm.
I have been to Disney World and Disneyland both, and they were equally as terrible.
Wow.
Shut your
I am also like Jen, and I, for one, absolutely love it. And when I go in, I'm like, this is deplorable. It's so expensive. It's a ripoff. And as soon as I get in there, I'm like,
I love it so
magical.
much.
I
So
love
great.
it. Take all of my money.
Yeah.
I will buy your churro or your little funnel cake thing in America. And I'm like, yeah, take all my money so that I can have cavities and diabetes. That's fine.
I know, I
And-
absolutely am used to it being a very unpopular opinion, and a lot of people love Disney and love the music and like all of that stuff, and it's just not me.
Okay.
That's
well,
my
it's
happy
okay.
place.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's a lot. My happy place is the Wizarding World in Orlando.
So you
That's
hate
fair.
Disney, but what do you
Until
think
Disney
of Uncle
buys Harry
Noli?
Potter.
Good
What?
point. Good question.
Good point.
Noli, Uncle Noli is fucking fantastic.
Fucking
Anyways.
fantastic.
Anyways, back to what we're here for.
Back to what we're talking about.
But you vamped long enough for me to remember which ones were my favorites.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay, well, perfect.
That was the
Well,
original
What do you
question.
think about the show in general, though, Michelle? Other than like, it's fucking great. Did you like it as a standalone?
I do, yeah. I actually was thinking about it this week when I was watching it. Was the like the intro and everything, how they did it like a Rogers Neighborhood kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his house is like the decrepit one. I love it. It's my favorite thing. No, the standalone show is genius because he's a great character and he needs to keep it up.
I'd agree. I think it's
Keep it
Nolan
up.
at its finest. I think it's Nolan's creativity at its
Absolutely, because it's 100% Nolan and he doesn't have anything to go off of. He doesn't
Mhm.
have anyone to play off of, so he has to play off of himself.
It's just all
Yeah.
improv.
I've been-
himself? Is that what you said?
Play off of himself.
To go off of your point, I've been saying the same thing since we started talking about Uncle Nolan when they started airing it. I said it's my favorite thing because it's Nolan at its best. It's
Yeah.
the best of Nolan,
definitely.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Jen?
Yeah. Nolan's greatest hits. Like
Nolan's greatest hits. That's,
That's a good
perfect.
one.
That's
100%.
perfect.
Like, yeah.
And this week we had quite a number of questions. Sometimes it's difficult to remember them because we've already like gone a few days, and today's Saturday, and it was on Tuesday and everything. And they're only 8 minutes, I think, like that. The segment of Uncle Noli. So we can discuss some of our favorite bits, and then if you guys have something from the show that you remember or anything, let us know.
Okay.
Dan, what did you think?
For like the funny one, actually, my favorite moment would have been the question about like the friends with benefits answer.
Oh, interesting.
I like it was like I'm just listening, like, okay, yep, friends with benefits, and then he's just like, just bang, like, okay, like, and it actually
Yeah.
made me like just out loud laugh, like, because it was such a, like a sudden, like, oh, okay, that's what he's saying.
I
And
think
then
what got me most about that one is because like he was like the friends with benefit, the girlfriend is into clown stuff or something. Like my partner's into clown stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And he
no,
was
I
like,
messed,
I
I
don't-
messed up. Did I say friends with benefits or the friend zone?
Oh, you said friends, but with benefits, not friends.
I meant the friend zone one. He's saying
Ah,
just
okay.
bang.
The friends with benefits one is the one that
That was
hates
also good.
clowns, and
Yes.
he's like, "Well, I love sex, but I hate clowns.
Mm-hmm.
So just have sex." Because
Always
he's
go
like,
with the
"Don't
great
lose the good
sex."
sex. Just do what you have to do." He's like, "If you got to put a bag over her head or whatever, just do that."
Yeah.
I thought that was great. I thought that was really good. What did you say the one that was the friend zone? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
mentioned
how
the
to
friend
get out of
zone
a
was
friend
like
zone someone.
the funny one, and then I actually really appreciated there was a couple of serious ones, but the one that was Claire said, what was the best way to stop procrastinating?
Oh, yeah.
And he said, make a list, cross them off, and I was like, that is super solid advice.
Yeah.
Like, I really
It really
appreciated
is.
that.
I do that all the time. I have like a little
Oh yeah,
notepad that actually has a to-do section in it, and then I have another. If anybody else can relate to this, if they like stationery, I have multiple diaries and multiple like organizers. So like I have another one that has like a day-to-day list. It's like to do, and then next week, and then I forgot that I've just written hi on my hand. I just saw it.
Oh, what's this?
And I was like, oh, hello.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
How are you? Sorry, but yeah. So I have multiple stuff that kind of reminds me to make the list and to tick it off. And I think that you're right. That's solid advice. Solid advice. Ladies, any moments that are kind of coming back to you or anything from the show that you liked particularly?
Nothing in particular, no.
Nope. Okay. No, that's okay. I think one of my favorite ones was oh my god, there were good ones to pick. Well, I liked
go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say the one where he's like, it was phrased weird. It was like, Nolan, zombie apocalypse. You're at the door, like they're at your door, and you only have 3 things on the table, and you have to grab one of them. And one of them's a frying pan, the other's a 16-inch jumbo dildo, and what was it? And a straight razor. Which do you pick up? And he kind of counted them down, and as he did, he flipped the bird at the end, and I was like, great answer, because he's like, why do I have a 16-inch dildo in my room? And also, and then I think he picked up the frying pan. It's like, obviously frying pan, and then like flipped him off, and I was like, this is great. I love the moments where Nolan like comments on something, like there'll be a weird question, and Nolan basically will just be like, what was the one question that he answered? And he was like, fuck you, I'll break your legs and all this. I was like, oh, okay, wow. Like direct down the camera. I thought it's great. It's really committing to it. So I like that one.
I think one of the first questions was like, how do you love yourself? And he was like
yes,
turn the lights out, get a bottle of lotion. Like, yep, okay.
Classic.
All right then.
Classic Nolan answer.
Also, if he's going back to the other one, if you're gonna put a bag on her head because she's a clown, you got to make sure you put a bag on your head in case hers falls off.
Yeah, that's it. What the fuck? I love that though. He's like, basically just do whatever you got to do to still have sex. Like, don't stop having sex.
Just have sex.
Just have sex. The one that I actually thought was really interesting, other than the Making List one, which like was a really good serious one, I really liked the advice on self-confidence and like self-worth. But that was really good. And he's like, love yourself, take care of yourself first. Like, it's not selfish, it's self-worth. Yeah, love yourself.
Turn the lights out.
Literally and metaphorically. But like for real, I thought that was really nice. And then at the end of it, he was like, don't make that dirty. Kind of like, that's kind of the first time he's ever sort of been like, don't take that the wrong way. And I thought that was really nice, because he was coming trying to get
moments
something.
After he said how to love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that's a really nice thing. And I think a lot of people in the community, especially in retro replay community, sometimes struggle with that. And you can see it on Twitter, you can see it in the chat or whatever. And someone be like, listen, I'm not feeling great today, I'm not feeling the best or whatever. And that's what this community is here for. Like, we all try and like lift each other up and be positive with each other. But I think that kind of message really resonates with myself and in the community. It's just like, take the time. Take the time to self-care. Your mental health is important and it is priority. So just love yourself first. And then you can kind of start feeling better and having self-confidence and self-worth when you love yourself.
Yeah. And it's easy to forget to take care of yourself too, when you're preoccupied worrying about other people or other things. So definitely good advice.
Especially now, it's important to really remember to love yourself. And give yourself grace. If you don't feel good, that's okay. You cannot feel good.
It's all right. Yeah. Totally understand that. All right, moving on. Oh,
right on.
Shout out to the cat question though. Me and Jen. Me and Jen are like, that cat is a genius. And if it sits like a human and making weird poses, the advice to go put him up on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube is just solid core advice. Please do that. We need to see your human sitting child cat.
100%.
I want to see it.
Thanks.
Moving on to Uncharted 3, the definitive playthrough. Amy Hennig is back.
Love it.
I'm really excited about that. I'm, sad that Richard wasn't there, but I absolutely love having Amy back.
Richard
he had bodies
busy.
to bury. It's fine.
Yeah, I love that. Digging graves. Thought that was great. That cracked me up. I'm
so glad that they've like kept
some
on that
serious
thing.
Work to do.
Like throughout the series, they've just been like, "Yep, we're gonna stick with this joke. We're gonna run with it." Like,
he's a straight up murderer. It's fine.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. What bugs me is, well, not bugs me, but it's like, it gets me every time, is when Richard sees the jokes, he's like, and I'm like, oh, poor Richard. Like,
he doesn't know what to do.
Like, oh.
He's just like, Sure.
Like, it's Nolan. I'm used to it.
Right. I think again,
Apparently that's happens to
desensitized.
everybody.
These jokes are like
enough time
10
with
years
Nolan.
old.
Yes.
What do you guys feel of the episode? Do you have a favorite moment? This particular scene in Uncharted 3 has been my favorite of a lot of games. And a really standout moment to me.
The desert
in
scene.
my game
Yes.
experience.
Yeah,
desert
100%.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get your feel on it. What did you guys think of the episode?
That whole plane sequence, to watch him play that and then stand in the desert scene with like what was the promo for the game. Absolutely. That was like me next to him on the couch of just like the entire time. This is so great. But actually I really enjoyed watching that after watching what he did walking through the book that he had made after making Uncharted 3, because then you were able to see like how they mocap, since it wasn't actually him doing the mocap for the plane stuff. You could pay attention to what he talked about in the book in like the previous episode, I think. And then what they did when he played it this episode, and Amy was talking about it. My favorite thing is when Amy knows what he's supposed to be doing and then just doesn't tell him and just giggles because he keeps fucking up.
Right?
Just like, I'm just laughing at you, but I know what you're supposed to do.
She's like, but go ahead, keep doing that.
Amy's memory of what to do in that game is so spot on every time.
It's amazing
too. It's incredible that she remembers the tiniest little details. This is a project she did 9 years ago,
right?
10 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
I can't even remember like certain things to do after I've just finished the game. Like I go to replay it and then I'm like, what do I do at this part again? Like I just did this. Why don't I remember? And that's 2 hours ago. Like
I actually replay all of the Uncharted games every year. It's like a tradition I've started with myself. Yeah, so by January or February, I always restart from 1 and play all the way to Lost Legacy. And I'm currently on Lost Legacy just because I've fallen off of it. But I finished 1 through 4 already. And I'm the same way. Like I'll start 1 and I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'll just play on like freaking brutal. Why not? And then like 10 minutes in, I'm like, fuck me, I am putting this back to normal. I hate this damn game.
It is.
And then I'll just finish it on normal.
On that note, though, Michelle, like I actually think that the older games 1 and 2 were really hard on like the medium, like normal hard level. They were hard enough. Like let alone brutal. Jesus, I don't know how anybody got through that. I play everything on easy, so yeah.
I've only finished 1 on brutal.
I just went back through all of them again because I'm like, I'm gonna get the platinums on these, and I still haven't done it because I have to play them on the hardest ones, and I'm just like, I'm like Pagan. I stay on easy because I stay
on easy all the time. I just
play,
like the game. Yeah,
I don't want to die, so I play through all of them, and right now I'm on Lost Legacy on whatever the hardest setting is, and I'm stuck on this one part, can't get past it. It was months ago that I gave up. I was like, I probably will never finish this, but I rage quit.
Yeah. I rage quit 4 last year on my regular playthrough because I was trying to play it on brutal or whatever the hardest setting is on 4, and I had to rage quit in chapter 8. And then when I went back to it this year, I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'll just play it on either whatever the second the hardest is. That's I've had to settle with myself that I'm never going to get a platinum because I just don't want to put myself through all of that pressure and trouble.
And there are easier platinums to get unless you're referring specifically to the Uncharted series.
Uncharted, yeah, no, I'm not going to get those.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair. The ones that kill me in Uncharted are like the ones where you're like you have to punch somebody twice or whatever and then shoot them with a pistol, or punch somebody twice and then shoot them with a rifle or the shotgun, and I'm like, oh yeah. God's sake.
You have to do one move on every single thing, or you have to use like 2 different weapons, or I can't. I just can't. Because I'm like, well, how do you know when they die? Like, I don't know. And then I'm like, well, how do I know if I'm going to shoot him? He's going to die right now with that 1 bullet, or if he's going to die in the second bullet, or I have to shoot him first and then also punch him. And then I just happen to get a headshot and I'm like, for God's sake. Yeah.
That would have been the one I needed for the trophy.
I just happen to be so good that I do headshots all the time. No.
Sometimes I get them unintentionally, and I think it's great. Every time I get them, I'm like, yes. Or if I get a trophy, like 10 headshots or whatever, I'm like,
you're like, what? How? What?
I'm a bad bitch. I don't need to do anything else.
At this game.
I'm a pro now. Listen, I'm just going to leave my own life and just be a pro.
Star Wars Fallen Order had some similar trophies too, and I platinumed that game. There was a trophy for like freezing the blaster bolt of a trooper and then force pulling him into the blaster bolt.
Oh yeah, I haven't
That's
gotten
a
that
cool
one yet.
move.
That one's
That
hard.
is a cool move.
It's awesome.
It's
There's
so
I think
cool.
there's another one for like force pushing so many troopers grenades back at them so they blow up from their own thing. There's one
That
for
one's fun.
pushing so many off of cliffs and stuff.
Oh, that's fun too.
You see,
That
I'm
game
just
is
kind of
fun.
like,
Yeah, Jedi
I
is
like
so
the
good.
platinum that I
Jedi.
got from Batman Telltale games. By just finishing the game, I got a platinum, and I was like, this is great. I
need to play that
game. But it's my one and only platinum. I'm not gonna lie.
I need to play that game.
Yeah.
I played the
I just wanted
TMNT
one
game
platinum
for that
to my
same
name,
reason.
and I was like, this is the one.
Yes.
All right. Well, moving on to the Uncharted 3 playthrough. Did you guys have like a moment other than just like Amy Hennig being on here? Like, was there a particular moment in this game in general that really stood out for you? Like, what's your favorite Uncharted game actually? Do you prefer 3? Do you like 3?
I like 3. It's not my favorite. I think 4 is my favorite, but also 4 is the first one I ever played. I got into Uncharted so late. I didn't know it was a thing until I bought a PS4 and it came with it. And then I played it and I was like, this game's amazing. There's 3 other ones. Like, and I bought them all immediately and I played them all immediately. And now I play them over and over and over and over again. And every time I'm playing them, Rachel's like, you're playing it again? Why are you playing it again? And I'm like, I'm playing it again. Like, it's just kind of my default. When I don't know what to play, I play Uncharted.
Yeah.
But watching
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I think 2 is probably my favorite. But I do really appreciate 4 because we had to wait for it. We had to wait to see how the story went, and then the gameplay and environment is just exponentially better. And I really playing all of them again, like since I do it every year, playing all of them, it really makes me appreciate 4 at the end because it's like, oh, I remember the wait for this game and I remember how great it was and the gameplay is great, but 2 is probably my favorite.
I just love the opening sequence for 4, the credit sequence at the beginning. It's just like with the map and like the names and like it looks so cool. The music that goes along with it, like every time it starts, I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. Like,
for sure.
I always cry.
Yeah,
I feel that about Uncharted 3. Like, I love Uncharted 3. I would also say Uncharted 4 is probably my favorite, but Uncharted 3 just had such great visuals and such great music and story, and I just loved it. I loved like the boat scene, like being on the boat and having everything cave in and you're escaping the boat and in the shipyard, and this scene in particular, the desert scene, like falling off the plane. When Nolan had said in the game, like, oh, it's so quiet, and Amy's like, yeah, it's really good sound design. I love that sequence. From then on, from when he lands in the desert and then he goes off and you hear Amy talking about like Laurence Olivier and her favorite poem and everything. I was like, oh God, this is so my music. I love this. This is so my language. So this was a really cool episode for me. I was kind of like a bit like, yes, Amy, tell me more. Like, tell me more of your knowledge, please.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a soundtrack, and I do have to say 3 is probably the best music out of all of them.
For sure.
4 is great.
I think so.
But Greg Edmonson was just a fucking genius. Because the way, so I love soundtracks, so I have a lot of soundtrack playlists. So if you listen to the main theme for 1, the main theme from 2, and the main theme from 3 in that order, you can hear how he built on top of the other one and how much it plays into the different instruments he uses to play into the actual game. And you can know like what game you're listening to based on the opening sequence of the soundtrack.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It was really cool. Have you always been into soundtracks? Like, are you a musical person?
Yeah. Yeah, I played a lot of instruments when I was younger, and I was actually in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in the marching band, which was super cool for a small town West Virginia girl. But yeah, I love soundtracks like John Williams. Like, I'm actually listening to the soundtracks playlist behind here.
Cool.
Because I wanted to have noise on for my dog while I was doing this, so I put my soundtracks playlist on. But movie soundtracks, John Williams.
I used to love the Jurassic Park soundtrack.
So great.
I had that, and I would listen to it like going to school on my CD player back in the day as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, I have the Jurassic Park, E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Indiana Jones, Superman, like all the old school stuff that he did. And then Klaus Badelt did the new Pirates of the Caribbean with some Hans Zimmer help. Alan Silvestri did Avengers. So did a few other people, but Henry Jackman actually did not only Uncharted 4 but a few of the other movies that I really enjoy, and I think one of them is the newer Avengers, if not like being the engineer for it, not just the composer. Yeah, I'm huge, and I love how all of the instruments can correlate and
talk to each other.
Yeah, and just play together, and all of the melodies and notes that they can play. My sister's in an orchestra in Orlando, so I was able to go and watch a lot of those. And I was in band forever, and I love music stuff like that.
That's really, really cool.
Last year, Rachel and I got to go to. There was a thing at the Seattle Symphony that was the music of John Williams, and it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. And it was just like, I was just sitting there and I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then like a new song would start and I'd be like, oh my God, I can picture everything. And then like they'd do another song. And it was so cool. And the only thing that really sucked about it was that we left before the encore, which I didn't know there was an encore. And they did Indiana Jones for the encore, which is like, Indiana Jones is mine and Rachel's favorite ride at Disneyland. And
I didn't even know that was a ride.
Oh God, it's such a good ride. It's so good. But yeah, we were super disappointed that we missed it. Like we heard it when we were walking through the lobby. We're like, we're gone. It's no well.
You could just stand in the lobby and listen. I would have been like, yes.
I always thought it was really cool for music. Like you can listen to a piece of music and like in your mind, you start replaying the movie or the game. You
get transported
in your head. Like you just see it all just from the music alone.
I think
that's super emotional. So I cry at everything. So
I was going to say the same thing.
Just like, just tears just flowing down my face. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't handle any of this.
So
beautiful.
I actually went through during quarantine. We've done all of the Marvel movies in chronological order, not the order they came out in, but in story order.
Yep, done them recently.
Yes. So it was fucking fantastic when we got to Endgame, because I saw Endgame twice in theaters, right? And
3 times for me.
Okay, good. And then side note, if anybody has watched Game of Thrones, by season 8 when it recently came out, which I don't want to hear any hate about it.
Sure, I love season 8. I won't talk about it.
Episode 3, which is Battle of Winterfell, came out the same weekend as Endgame in 2019. And I remember like calling my mom, who like doesn't care about any of that stuff, and I was just like, Mom, we have to check on our nerd friends. Like Battle of Winterfell,
is everybody okay?
Is coming out this weekend.
Like their entire fan bases are dying.
Yeah.
But anyway, so getting back to Endgame, after watching all of the Marvel movies coming up to it, and I've already seen it twice, so I already know what's going to happen. When fucking Captain America does Avengers Assemble, I get goosebumps talking about it, and then I just immediately burst into tears, and I'm listening to the music, and the music is just rocking, and it's just like, oh, this is the greatest moment.
The second that everybody starts appearing, I lose it. On your left. I can't handle this. It's too much. And it's just tears.
I love it.
Everywhere. It's so good.
Great.
Do you have the same response, Dan?
To Avengers?
Yeah, when like everyone starts appearing.
Do you just cry like we do?
I do cry. It's just flowing waterfalls.
I was gonna say
but that's just in everyday life, Dan. We're talking about Endgame.
Every day, just constant tears.
It's just rare to see Dan not crying.
Yeah, it's just he stops crying for the podcast. He pulls himself together for this.
You know what it is? I've run out of tears at this point.
It's just dry.
You started collecting them?
That makes sense, yeah.
So by this time in the day, I've run out of tears, but that's why I drink so much water while we're recording, so that I can refresh.
As
soon as we stop
so
recording.
you get back to your crying?
Yeah. I'm sorry we're keeping you.
No, but I can give a shout out to Moon Studios and their music production that they did for Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh God!
And when I hear that music,
super sad.
I immediately well up.
Yeah, I knew it.
Like just instantly when I hear that music. Well, it's very moving music, regardless of the context of the game.
It's a good soundtrack.
It's extremely moving, and I get goosebumps from it. But going back to Avengers, definitely that part in that movie was just like. Like I'm the kind of nerd though that like it might have been like a Lion King, like Simba's dad dying kind of moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my God.
Spoiler. Hello.
Mufasa. No, it's what that part when Simba's like nudging him going, Dad.
Oh my God, that's the saddest moment.
That's the part that gets me every time.
Every time. Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, like to be frank, I've only seen Avengers Endgame once, and it was not in theaters.
Oof. See, when I saw it in
was
theaters,
the only Marvel movie I haven't seen in theaters besides Captain Marvel.
I was like in the third row of the theater for that one, and the moment when Cap got the hammer, like literally everybody in the theater went, and then everybody was like, yes!
That
and
was
like
great.
the coolest moment of
that
any
was the coolest
theater
thing
experience that I've ever
I'm
had.
loving that played on stuff earlier in the series, like earlier in the MCU,
Mm.
when they were all trying
Like,
and it
we
moved,
knew it.
He's just
and
like
Thor's face is
worried.
just like,
He's just like,
What?
I love
my
that.
hammer.
I thought that was so good.
I did.
That was
I
a great
actually thought that the Endgame was perfect. They completely tied everything up and put a bow on it. They completely finished all the storylines. They did exactly what homage to the characters and the old comics and Stan Lee, and like it was just so brilliantly done. And I was so happy with it. I love one of my favorite parts in movies is if you go to a big premiere like that, is when there's a big moment like that and people get involved in the crowd in a big movie theater.
The last experience I had with that was Godzilla.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it was the best. I like that made my fucking day right there because I went and saw the 2014 Godzilla in theaters, and that movie has such a slow buildup to like Godzilla and revealing him, and then you get to that final fight scene, and by this point in the movie, you start to see Godzilla's tail lighting up and the fire breath coming, and everybody was like, "Oh!" And it was like the entire theater I saw it with just open cheered and screamed, and I was just like,
love that.
God,
had to go to the bathroom after that.
Right? That's exactly what I thought.
I had a moment.
You had a moment.
Had a moment.
Well, actually, speaking of that Godzilla, 2014 Godzilla, you do know that the husband and wife in that, the son of Bryan Cranston and the wife are Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in Avengers.
Even
and
I
those
knew
two
that.
movies. Yeah, those two movies came out. Okay, so super stupid blonde moment that I can't believe I'm about to say. We saw Avenger, like whatever one they were in. It was before Civil War. I don't know. Whenever they came in.
Age of Ultron.
Yes, thank you.
Ultron. Yeah.
Age of Ultron. So that came out first, and I watched that and with some of my friends, and then we went to see that Godzilla, and I was like, ew, they're brother and sister. 100% was like, hey, that's gross. And they're like, no. Oh, you know what? You right. I'm just gonna sit back down. That's not gross.
Never mind.
You're right.
Ah, yes,
So
wrong
stupid.
universe.
I have another additive for that Godzilla story too. Is I saw that movie on a Thursday night when it was like a midnight premiere, like the early release. Like, so the people who went to that movie on a midnight release are hardcore Godzilla fans. I went to see it the next day again. Not the same reaction from that crowd in the theater, and I was like, "Aw." Like I was disappointed.
Like,
that's really sad. Oh, it depends on the audience. Definitely does. It like makes your experience.
It's like when I went to see the last Harry Potter movie in theaters, and when Bellatrix Lestrange gets killed, and spoiler, and everybody's like,
God.
"Fuck
yeah, fuck you." No, mine was when seeing it in the theater, and Molly Weasley turns around and says, "Get away from my daughter."
Oh God, that part's so good.
And everyone was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, Molly, get him!" Like,
I love that atmosphere when people in theaters are cheering for the movie. It's like, yeah, every one of us in here are fucking nerds.
We're here for the same.
I am actually gonna
happened
tie
to me
it
with
in.
all 3 of the new Star Wars movies.
Really?
Oh,
I'm gonna tie it in with a section we like to call retro replay.
Nice. Perfect segue.
And there should be a jingle. But this week's question actually kind of like tones on that, which was, have you or anyone in retro replay had to excuse yourself from set from laughing too hard? So when Nolan does something kooky and funny, do you ever just have to be like, oh my God, I need to leave the room because I'm gonna die? So that was the question that I posed to Drew, and we got a response.
Have you or anyone in retro replay had to excuse yourself from set for laughing too hard? Yes, that would probably be me. I'm probably the guy that just, for some reason, I just cannot hold it in. Yeah, I'm the one who loses it usually. And then I usually don't even leave now. I usually just sit and laugh, and they just tell me to stop laughing eventually. Yeah, that's definitely me. Although PJ's PJ's been known to let out a chuckle every now and then, and you could probably hear that on camera too. So, but Paul too, you could hear him every now and then. So we all have our moments. We're all laughing. We're all having a good time. It's so fun.
See, I think that kind of thing is totally in tone with what you guys are saying, because I feel like when you're watching something, you can't help it. Usually the etiquette in the cinema, especially here in Ireland, is to
be quiet.
Shut up. Like, shush. Yeah. So, like, this kind of thing, like being on set, being a live set, and having Nolan do something funny instead of being like, how do you not laugh out loud?
That's a
I think we've
question.
talked about this before, actually, in the past with the movie theater etiquette, and I may have mentioned I have a story. One of my favorite movie theater moments ever. I cannot talk on podcast about, but I can share for after.
We'll say that for after. What do you guys think of the response from Retro Reply?
It's great.
Oh,
like, it's exactly what I would expect. Like,
it's honest.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself serious in that? Like,
I don't know.
First of all, I would just be staring at him. But then, if you're in the same room,
right,
and then you would just lose it, you'd have to walk out. I think it's hilarious. It's just very honest.
I think it's great when those moments happen and you can literally hear them laughing.
I love background noise in the show. I love it. It's one of my favorite parts. Like before like Drew started actually talking to everybody, when you could just kind of like hear him in the background.
He would like crawl.
Give advice. It's just like, did I hear something faint in the background? You're like, oh, it's Drew. Oh. It's great.
Yeah, you get that little Drew chuckle like under his breath in there. And it still happens once in a while. Like I picked up on it last week when you hear him like, or
yeah, it's very good. I'm loving, like, I think it's more like out of frustration sometimes as well, when you'd be like, and like you'd hear a sigh and you're like, oh, Drew, I feel you, buddy, I feel you.
Or PJ's shoe is like the best.
Yeah.
PJ's shoe.
I
love the live. He'll never live that down.
Absolutely not.
I'll never let him forget it.
I think when Drew was on our podcast episode, y'all can go catch that. It's on our YouTube. When Drew was on the podcast, he was mentioning, he was like, God, I wish I had just driven out that day. You wouldn't have never seen his shoe. And all I was like, no, it was perfect.
It was
perfect.
gold.
Everything about that was fantastic. The fact that it went upside down for a little bit was great.
Yes.
The fact that you saw his shoe was fantastic. I mean, everything was great. It's so well comedically timed that you just write that shit.
I was going to say, my favorite thing about that was Jill.
Yeah,
you hear
Jill.
Jill. Like, they really liked it.
They really liked you guys.
That
They
part was
really
hilarious
responded
to me, because I was like, is this scripted or is this really an accident? Like, I honestly couldn't tell for a while because it was just so good. I was just like, there's no way this is not, like, they scripted this, right? Like, this is what they meant to do. And then I was like, no,
great.
This is an accident.
So good. I loved it. I thought it was so good. Cool. Well, if any of the replayers have any questions for Retro Replay and the crew or the cast on the show, let us know by sending questions into thereplayerpodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter @thereplayerpodcast. And we will send it over to them and get an answer right here on the show. All right. So we're just going to close it out, guys. If there's anybody looking to find you on socials, or if there's anything that you would like to promote or push right now, this is your opportunity to do it. So we're going to start with Jen. Jen, do you have anything that we can find you on socials if anybody's looking for you?
Yes, I have been streaming as much as I can on Twitch, trying to get affiliate. I'm so very close. Just
Doggo!
Celebration from the dog.
Your dog wants you. The dog wants you to be on Twitch. Like, it just wants you to be an affiliate. Like,
doing my best. Right now, I'm doing Tuesdays and Thursdays streaming Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Nice.
Depending
what time
on
do you usually stream? Sorry.
5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is terrible for Pagan.
It's terrible for me. I'm so sorry. It's like 8 hours ahead for me.
Sleep. But it's after work, so it's what works for me.
Fine.
But I have been also uploading my Twitch videos to my YouTube channel so that you can
way to do it
there.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a bigger following there, and it's either twitch.tv/xjennersonx or youtube.com/xjennersonx.
Perfect.
Depending on when this episode airs, my Tuesday episode is with one of the voice actors. She does Marguerite Baker in Biohazard 7. Her name's Sarah Coates. She is awesome. She's just going to be in chat, hanging out, answering questions.
That's awesome.
That's
and
so
I'm
cool.
super, super happy that I actually know somebody that I could ask to do that. And she was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds awesome." Like,
That's
so
really
hopefully
cool.
that will get the viewer count up a little bit.
For sure.
This episode
So this
will
is
be up on
Tuesday?
a Wednesday, though. Unfortunately,
Okay, that's okay. I
We'll tweet it out. Tweet it. We'll
we can do
reshare.
that.
Yeah, I made
Yeah.
an awesome banner for it, which I'm surprised.
I've seen
by
that.
because
Yeah, I've seen
I'm
the
not-
banner.
I'm not good at making that kind of thing, but the free program I found was just like, yeah, take away the background and then you can just add this picture to this. And I was like, hey, I can do that.
That sounds awesome. So Resident Evil stream, Marguerite Baker?
Marguerite Baker. Yeah.
On Tuesday.
Tuesdays
Sick.
and Thursdays. Yeah. It's been fun. I'm not great at it, but it's still fun.
It's a hard game.
Still a good time.
Yeah. It's a good game too. Like graphically, story. It's good. It's good stuff.
Isn't that you're on your to-do list, Pagan, to stream Resident Evil 7 one of these days?
I would love to watch that. I would love to watch.
Everybody wants to watch that because she's jumpy as hell.
I jump a couple of times and I know what's gonna happen because I've already played it. But watching you play it would be hilarious.
I don't know.
I would love.
I just want to be.
It would have to be a special occasion or something.
Can that be a replayer podcast thing? I'm gonna keep poking you for this, but I want to be there when you play that opening scene, like one of the first big scares in that game. Like, I want to be there so I can laugh at you.
You're making me my hands are sweaty thinking about it. I don't want to no.
It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, if we ever do, then yes, I will save that game for when we do it together. Yeah. Michelle, what about you? Where can people find you on socials?
I do not stream. I'm kind of boring.
That's fine.
No worries.
But I'm also really bad at Twitter, but I am on there and I'm trying to get better. You want my handle, I guess?
Yes, please.
Is Wonder Woman 4519 on everything. So Instagram, Twitter, and then also if you want to add me on PlayStation Network, I'm typically on weekends, sometimes weeknights. I post a lot of boring things because my life is super exciting for me, but it doesn't solely revolve around gaming. I do a lot of working out and cooking. I'm a huge cook, so. But yeah, if you want to find me, Wonder Woman 4519.
Well, I love food, so I'll be following you.
I do a lot of.
I was actually gonna eat food, not look at it.
I'm gonna be baking a lot this weekend because just for the neighborhood, just to do it.
You bake too?
Yeah, I bake a lot.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I follow you on it. Furiously starts Googling.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Dan, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me at Stark Evil Vash on just about any platform. I'm on Xbox and PlayStation at Stark Evil Vash. You might find me on there this weekend playing some of the Avengers beta, which is pretty dope. If you're an Avengers fan, I'd say check it out.
I want to know how that is. I've
been enjoying it so far. It definitely, it's a beta. It's got some glitches and needs some tweaks, but so far the game structure is really fun. I've played a bit of like Hulk and Black Widow. I've been playing a lot of Black Widow. She's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty.
Is it first-person shooter?
No, it's third-person action adventure that you can play online with friends. So you actually play as a squad of Avengers, essentially. So the four of us could play. Each one of us is a different hero.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Is it linear or is it open world?
It's mostly linear, but there's different stages scattered throughout the world that have different environments and different scenarios. And then some stages are big open world spaces, and then some spaces are more linear structured A to B. Cool. It's very Destiny-like, but without the open world aspect of it.
Yeah.
But lastly, I am streaming on Twitch as well, Stark Evil Vash. I stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Days Gone, Astral Chain, and Ori in the Blind Forest for now. And then you can find me on Twitter at Stark E Vash. It's STARK. Why? VASH.
Hash.
H.
Not
hash. Hash.
No.
Like marijuana?
Vash.
No. H.
H. My bad.
H.
Don't go down. Don't start that again.
Oh, jeepers.
That's a Disney reference.
Oh, God.
I don't get it.
Replayers, if you're looking to find me, you can find me on socials at Pagan Plays on Twitter, at Pagan_Plays on Instagram, and at Pagan_Plays on Twitch, where I stream Tuesday and Thursdays from 8:15 p.m. GMT approximately. Sometimes it's later. Listen, I don't make the rules.
It happens.
Bend them.
Time zones.
Yeah, tap zones. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for being on the show, you guys. And I just want to shout out to thank you for everything you guys do in the community and for being a part of our show today. It like means a whole bunch to myself and Dan.
No problem.
Thank you also to everybody on the Retro Replay crew and cast for everything that you do, because without you, the Replayer podcast wouldn't exist. Great. Find us on Facebook, Twitter. Looking forward to new episodes every Wednesday on YouTube. On our YouTube channel, it's all at the Replayer Podcast, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And that's all, folks. I think game over.
Find us on your favorite podcasting service. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you,
much
guys.
Fun.
Yeah, find us everywhere. Just click on all the links.
Just
you can also
do
support
it.
the show from as little as $1 a month. Feel free. Click it.
Click
it's
that
right there.
bell.
Bye.
Game over.
I love the outro scene. Okay, let's play. Good vibes, Dan. Yeah. Okay, here's it. You know what I mean? It's got that club vibe.